Hi, welcome to another Midwife Diaries vlog. Today, as you can see, I am filming in black and white. I just wanted to vlog about something which is so important right now, right today, and that is women's reproductive rights. This was brought to my attention by one of my cohort classmates who is Polish, and we have a Facebook group at uni, which is great. We all kind of share things or ask each other questions, and every now and again something will crop up that just really hits a chord with everyone, and hits a chord, strikes a chord. Today, Aggie, my colleague, asked if we could all wear black to show solidarity and support for women in Poland. So you may have seen this on the news, you may not have seen what's happening in Poland at the moment, but kind of unbeknownst to me, Poland has quite strict abortion laws and regulations, and I wasn't really aware of this. I knew that Ireland has quite strict laws regarding contraception and the morning after pill and terminations, but I was not aware that Poland were very similar. Currently in Poland, there's only really 4 instances where termination of a pregnancy is legal. So number 1, if the baby's life is under threat. So for example, the baby has a life-threatening condition, so once the baby's born it won't survive, or its quality of life is deemed not good enough really to carry on the pregnancy. The other instance is number 2, if the mother's life is under threat. So that could be that she already has a pre-existing medical condition, and getting pregnant will make that worse, so her life is under threat as well. Number 3 is if that pregnancy is the product of rape. Number 4 is if the pregnancy is the product of incest. So those last 2 could go hand in hand. If there was some kind of sexual abuse. 4 instances: rape, incest, threat to the mum, threat to the baby. So if you got pregnant and it was an accident, which we all know that happens, so say the condom split, or you were taking the pill but you were sick that day, or sick 2 days later, let's be quite fucking honest about this, sperm can live for up to 5 days. 5 days. I think it's 5. Go back to my anatomy and physiology here. Inside your vagina. If you miss your pill like 2 days after you've had sex, or if you get poorly 2 days after, there's always a chance that you could get pregnant. So basically what they're saying is, if you don't want a baby, you can't have sex. Just, okay, whatever. It's like you're affecting all the rights. You're affecting women's rights, you're affecting sexuality rights, you're affecting human rights, you're affecting reproductive rights. So yeah, you can only have a termination of a pregnancy in those 4 circumstances. God, I'm glad I live in this country. So currently, in Poland, oh God, this makes me so mad. They are trying to bring in a new law that would mean that any pregnancy cannot be legally terminated. All pregnancies. If you were raped, you could not terminate that pregnancy. If your life is at risk, you cannot terminate that pregnancy. I just don't get it. So all terminations will be criminalised. Women could be sentenced to up to 5 years in prison for terminating the pregnancy. Any doctors found assisting with a termination could also be imprisoned. So this also will mean that women who have miscarriages may be subject to scrutiny over whether or not that actually was a miscarriage. We see lots of women in theatres having procedures to try and save their pregnancies, which sometimes the risk of that procedure is miscarriage, such as cervical sutures and things like that. That doctor will then be under scrutiny and possibly liable for persecution or a prison sentence. Also, it kind of means that doctors might not want to do the procedures on women anymore. They may not want to, try and save their babies. They may not want to try and save the woman's life. Say a woman has a miscarriage, if that pregnancy is still in her body, we in this country do what we call an evacuation of retained products of conception, which is the most horrific way of saying it, but basically they remove the pregnancy, remove the baby from the woman, or any products of that pregnancy which may cause her harm in the future. Doctors may not want to do those procedures for fear of being persecuted. Now, I never realised that Poland is quite a religious country, and this way of thinking has kind of come from very right-wing Catholic coalition. I think they're called like the Stop Abortion Coalition, have basically put this forward to the Polish government for them to consider the law to be changed. So for all women seeking a termination or having a termination to be prosecuted. Thankfully, because it's 2016 and I can't believe that this is even happening in a country, like, I know it's so naive of me to think that this doesn't happen so close to home, but Poland, I just can't believe that this is happening in Poland. You kind of think of it as a European country, we're very forward thinking. No, we're not. So thankfully, pro-activists, pro-choice activists in Poland have called for a strike. So what they're calling a national absence campaign, which I think is genius. So basically, I think this happened years and years and years ago in Iceland, where women were fighting for women's rights. So they did this all-out strike. They won't go to work, they won't do domestic chores, won't look after their children. They're kind of encouraged to do things like either protest against this bullshit, to do charity work or volunteer work, or basically go and do some good somewhere that is out of your normal remit, what you would normally do. So going to work or looking after your children or your husband or whatever. We're in third year now, we're talking about comparative midwifery care in different countries and women's place in society and how it differs in different places. And it just makes me realise, like, we've still got a lot of work to do. There's still so far for women to come. But in this country, we just have it so much better than other people do. They're taking away women's rights. They're taking away their freedom to do what they want with their bodies. So this is a chance for women to, for their voices to be heard, for them to become equal, for them to say, hold on a minute, no. If this was turned around and we were like, men are not allowed to masturbate. You're not allowed to masturbate. If we find out you did masturbate, we're going to persecute you. We're going to take you to court. You could spend up to 5 years in prison because you wasted that sperm for no good reason. You had no reason to waste that sperm and you did it for sexual pleasure. Go to prison. It would never happen. Never. So, calm down. Getting quite angry. Another aspect of it, which is just bollocks, is that they're also talking about affecting women's reproductive rights, as in you can only, if you want to have IVF, you can only freeze a certain amount of embryos. You can only have a certain amount of embryos implanted. And basically what they're saying is anything that is not nature, that is not a natural way of conceiving a child, and just letting nature take its course is not allowed. And it's just bollocks. I know I keep saying bollocks, but it is absolute rubbish, because those people, I know some religions don't, but those people would accept blood products in an emergency. If they're bleeding to death and someone said, here, have this blood, it will save your life, they would take it. They would 110% take that blood because it would save their life. And yet you're taking away their rights to science. You're taking away their rights. You're taking away women's rights who can't have children. There are some people out there who would love to have a child of their own, and you're taking away that right as well. We're also talking about taking away the morning after pill. So basically, you're fucked. You've got no choice. If you get raped and you get pregnant, you have to keep the baby. And it's almost like they're saying it's your fault for being fertile. It's your fault for being a woman. So thankfully this has it's stirred a lot of emotions within Polish women. And they're calling it Black Monday. Everyone wearing black to show solidarity. If I can get a picture of my lovely cohort, who I'm sure won't mind. Quite a few of us wore black today. Just even though we're not in Poland, like this could affect us here massively. We have a lot of Polish women come to this country because their rights are not being met. Their voices are not being heard. You are free to do with your body what you want. Like, what is next? Not being able to wear bras because that's not natural. Not being able to use tampons because that's not natural. Like, what the fuck? Why? I don't understand the logic behind this. Choosing whether or not someone else can carry a baby is not your choice. It's not your choice. I would love to turn it around and say men are not allowed to masturbate. You are not allowed to ejaculate because it is a waste of sperm. It's a waste of life. Bollocks. Anyway, so yeah, we all wore black. Hashtag Black Monday, hashtag Sani protest, solidarity, women's rights, reproductive rights, and I think it's something that we need to all rally together. If you are pro-life, then great. Like, that is your choice and that is what you want to do. That is your choice. It's your choice. It's not my choice. I'm a vegetarian. I don't give a shit if everyone else eats meat. It's not great for you. That's why I don't want to do it. It's little baby animals. That's why I don't want to do it. That is my choice. My body, my choice. Your body, your choice. Do what you want with it. But do not try and impose your opinions and your beliefs on other people. Anyway, I've rambled on and on and on. But yeah, get online, get on Facebook, get on Twitter, get on Instagram, wear black. If you haven't got anything black, if you feel a bit like a goth, like I do today, I feel a little bit like I'm feeling my old 16-year-old self and should really get my like fishnets on my arms or whatever. But yeah, if you can, wear black. If not, then maybe sign some petition. See if you can find a petition to sign to say that this is bullshit and should not be happening. And if you feel like you can't do any of that, then just promise me, if you have a daughter, you will tell her that her body is her body and no one can tell her what to do with it. Anyway, thanks for listening to me rant on. If you want to comment, that would be great. I'd love to hear people's comments about what they think about the Black Monday protests. Okay, I'll be back maybe with a bit of a less hard hitting subject, something a bit lighter to talk about. But yeah, 2016, we're still talking about this shit, so it needs to be discussed. I'm going to call this the With Woman Weekly. So my rant about midwifery or women, feminism, women related weekly video. Okay, I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for listening. Share, subscribe, like, comment, whatever you want to do.